Well, hello in today's webinar, and welcome to the RigER's webinar, the weekly webinar sessions that we run on a Thursday every given week at 1 p.m. Central Time. So today's topic is going to be rental unit statuses, and it's a very interesting topic, so hang in there. It's going to be, again, packed with information, so we're looking forward to presenting it to you and hear your questions about that, since it's a topic of a huge interest. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Nikolai. I'm VP of Sales and Marketing here at RigER. And we can move to the next slide of our presentations, where we are going to touch again on how you can get in touch with us. We live in a digital world these days, as you may know, and we appreciate to share information with you, as well as appreciate to get any feedback from you as well. So use any of the social media channels to stay in touch with us, from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn seems to be the most popular these days. So go ahead and follow us and engage with us through the social media channels. So again, going back to today's topic. So we're going to be talking about the rental unit statuses. It's a big and interesting topic, and we hope that you'll find it interesting and will be able to ask any questions on the subject. So today's agenda and presenters are seen right on this slide. You can see, so today's presenters are Michael and Indra. Michael is the CEO of RigER, and Indra is the person, to those of you who are our members of our community and users, you are the people that know Indra firsthand. You may have spoken and heard to her. So she is the user support lead. So she's the one who fields a lot of questions from our user community and will be able to provide the insight on some of the questions today. So today's topics are the rental units and the rental unit. So we're going to be talking about what is the status. And the most important thing to understand is that the status actually identifies where in the rental cycle or the repair cycle on the business cycle of using the equipment, where the equipment is at a given time. So we're going to be talking about the tracking different statuses of equipment. We'll talk about the pre-job statuses. So there's many different statuses, and we talk about the rental job statuses. So basically all different statuses of equipment in the system will be covered in today's presentation. So a quick intro again to those of you who are new to our company. We wanted to make sure that you see this couple of slides, the next slides, and understand who we are and where we come from. So RigER is a flagship product of Velcosoft, and we stand for the paperless enterprise. We support and encourage custom solutions and customizations for the companies, understanding that everybody's different. And we do thrive on integrations. We do work with other software providers to ensure that when you launch RigER in your operations, you're not abandoning other systems that may be useful to you, but you rather integrate with them and building your business on that multi-integration platform. Again, RigER community of users is growing, as well as the offering of the RigER solutions is growing. So now you can see that we provide not only one application on the mobile device, but more than that. But first and foremost, RigER is a cloud platform that allows you to run your business using the power of internet from the cloud through the mobile device in any location where you have a connection. So our 4 mobile applications support both online and offline mode, which is very handy in areas where internet is sporadic or not persistent in their signal. And on the right-hand side, you can see the map where our customers are coming from. And we know there are some, patches of land when the internet is not prevailing. So in that case, you can use a RigER mobile application freely. Some of our clients that you can see on this screens are represented by a selected group. You can see some of them are maybe the ones that have joined us today, or members of the companies that have joined us today, and some maybe are planning. So feel free to ask us any questions if you are planning to join the RigER community. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And now let me pass the microphone to Michael Maltzer, the CEO of RigER, who's going to dive into the subject of today's presentation, rental unit equipment tracking using the statuses and locations.
Thank you, Nikolai. Hello, everyone, and welcome to RigER webinars. And today we will talk about rental equipment. And actually, the rental equipment tracking is one of the primary goals of RigER. And to better understand all the tracking dimensions and metrics, I just put here several examples of what kind of parameters we need to check when we track the equipment. So definitely we need to know the location of every single unit number every single time. We need to know the status. Is it working? Is it idling? Is it sitting in the repair shop? And all those different statuses which we can use, and we can differentiate units by those statuses. Another thing could be the ownership. Is it our own equipment or it's a subrental equipment? So the equipment belongs to our vendors. Another thing, it could be conditions. Some of the units, say for example, rig mats, they lose conditions during the job lifetime. So, and it could be like reducing the quality of the a particular item. Maintenance cycle is another thing where at the maintenance cycle we for this particular unit and when should be next maintenance scheduling. Warranties, another thing which we need to track as well. And all other attributes could be an issue. But today we will talk about statuses, and we will present statuses from the practically different angle. We never show statuses in that way, and be prepared. So it will be interesting view on the statuses. And I would like to pass mic to Indra, so she will show you what exactly we talk about, or about what exactly we talk when we talk about statuses.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Michael. My name is Indra, and I'm user support lead here in RigER. So let's talk about rental unit statuses. So in RigER system, we have a bunch of different rental unit statuses to track rental units, to track their conditions, and at what stage of the job these rental units are at the moment. And each of the status has a different color, just to easy recognize them, just to easy notice when you checking the statuses or the history of the rental unit, of unit number, and just to see at what particular status the unit is. And in the next slide, you can see that in RigER system, we can group all the statuses in two separate groups. So one group is general statuses, and another group, we could call it like special optional statuses. And under the general statuses goes these statuses. So it's like no status for initial unit, ready to rent, ragged, deployed, need repair, sold, and scrap statuses. And under the special statuses group, which is optional, that means the statuses maybe or maybe not in your RigER database depending on your procedures, company procedures. So the statuses are reserved, backup, assembled, for inspection, for service, and out of fleet. So these are the main statuses in our system. And now I would like you to show how to check these statuses in RigER system. Just quickly show the demo for you. Let me just share my screen with you and show the RigER database. Okay, so when you connect to RigER database, there are a few locations where you can check the status of rental units and unit numbers. The first location, what I could suggest for you is to check on the home page and on unit number dashboard. So you can see the status of each rental unit and unit number in the system, and you can go back by the time, by the date, so check what the status was on the particular day and time, and you can filter the specific rental unit, unit number, and see where it's located and what the status this unit has. There's another place where you can check rental unit status is rental unit history reports. So you are going to the list of all reports in the RigER system and then selecting rental unit history report. And here you can filter a particular rental unit or unit number and see all the statuses for it. So let's choose a unit and let's select a unit number, and you can select the date range for which date you want to see the statuses. Let's just go back by the date that it would show from the beginning when this unit number was added to the system. You click Create, and you can see what statuses this unit had in the previously and what is the current status. So in the first column, you can see what is the current status for this unit. And another place where you can see unit statuses, so it's another report which is located under items. So if you go directly to the item cards in RigER system, and you can just filter the rental unit. Okay. So let's open an item card and let's go to unit numbers, where it's listed all the unit numbers for the specific rental unit. And here, if you highlight one unit number and you click unit workflow control, you will get a different report where you can see all the statuses from the beginning till now, what this unit had and what documents provided which statuses, which two statuses, and all other other information for this rental unit. So these are the main places, main reports where you can see rental unit statuses in RigER system. Okay, let's get back to our presentation and let's move on with rental unit statuses in the system.
Can you, Michael, add a couple of words about the nature of the statuses and where the whole thing came from? I mean, I guess we've started with a couple of statuses at the very beginning, but the more we started working with the clients, and we realized there are so many different, processes. That's where the customization part comes in, and everybody wanted to have different statuses. So, and we have changed in the past several years. We've what would be the best word to use? We've optimized the naming convention of the statuses, and now they are more or less aligned, but not more or less, they're completely aligned with an oilfield rental equipment usage in the field. We've heard a lot of different statuses, but now they're pretty much standard that has been used across the industry.
So let's move forward and talk about pre-job operations. The pre-job operations means that we need to prepare the equipment for the rental job. And usually when we have the equipment entering to the system before, so it like entering the system, we usually have like two-step operations. One is they enter the name of the system, name of the equipment and unit numbers, and the second is to purchase them. We use a bill of lading as a trigger to switch item from no status to ready to rent. So as soon as you post the bill of lading, the rental unit numbers switch status from no status to ready to rent. This is a very important thing which every user needs to remember. So we can switch status only by a particular document, a particular trigger, which will be a different logic for different items and for different documents. So when we do the purchases, when we post the bill of lading, the equipment will from no status become ready to rent. More advanced options when we have the assembled units, so the units which already come to us as pre-built set of the different rental units, we can do this via bill of lading. And so the bill of lading, instead of having switching already everything ready to rent, we can move the unit to the inspection, and after inspection it become ready to rent. So depending on what kind of algorithm or what kind of process you use for your purchase items, we can build a different models, and you can use a different models. For example, at the right side, you can see the assembly unit inspected, and after that inspection card posted, which is another trigger. The inspection card done, we are ready to rent this unit. The assembly itself become a complex unit status change event, because we have several components, build it together, bolt it together, become a new assembly unit. So for the components, they should be ready to rent. Then we need to build them together, and then status of the component become from ready to rent to assembly. And for the assembled unit, the result of the assembly itself, from no status to ready to rent. This is a very important concept. So we see all the components in the system and the assembly units simultaneously. However, they have different statuses. So the assembly unit is ready to rent. All the components will be with status assembly. And again, this gives us an opportunity to track if the single component within assembly unit down the road, when the assembly unit will change the different statuses through the kind of rental job processing. Another way how the units can appear in the system is a subrental operations, when we re-rent items from our vendor to our clients. In this case, we have a special document which we call subrental ticket, and we have 2 tickets in and out, and it's pretty easy conversions, like from no status, subrental ticket in, put the rental unit to ready to rent, and subrental ticket out, convert this back, so from ready to rent to no status.
So to our speakers today. So the first question that came from Lisa. So the question is, are the unit statuses mandatory, the ones that you've showed, or they are all optional and can be changed?
Good question. So the entire system design that you need to use the statuses. So we have the set of general statuses which you couldn't avoid to use, like ready to rent, racked, deployed, need repair, sold, and scrapped. And different modules can add more statuses. For example, if you use reservation, backup, assembly, inspection, then you will have more statuses in the system. So reserve, backup, when you add those modules, it will add statuses to the rental units and a little bit change the logic. And talking about like adding statuses or modifying statuses, it's a very hard coding right now in the system, and you couldn't change it. And we couldn't change that because it's already in the documentation, it's already in the knowledge base. This webinar is about all those statuses. So if you name it in a different way, it will be really tough to support users if you name statuses in different way. We spend a lot of time to put the right name to those statuses, which explain in more common and more precise way what is it about. Say ready to rent is very, very new in the system. Previously it was available, and available was not that kind of good describe the situation, and ready to rent is more common for rental business, and we happy to use it right now.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Yeah, hold on a second, Michael. We have a question from Peter, and the question states: a rental unit status can be changed only by some document, or it can be changed manually as well.
The entire logic of the system give us an opportunity to change statuses only by document. It's not the manual status change. Moreover, it's very important to post documents in the certain manner, in a certain order, because if you miss one or two documents, you broke the chain, and this could cause some issues with this unit. So the units, say for example, you have units in the yard, but you couldn't use it because, for example, the repair card was not posted properly, and it's still in need repair status. So it's very, very important thing, and we not recommend users, we not actually provide that ability to users to change this manually. So buy documents only.
And I think one of the reasons, just wanted to add here, Michael, and I know that Indra can also add from her experience working in the support area of our business, is that sometimes people want to change it manually. But the key thing is that the system provides or supports a specific workflow, and the workflow has the logic behind it. That's where we do the configuration, we set up the right workflow processes and create and connect documents on the back end. That's why it's important to kind of understand why we're not doing it, not just because we want it, but because we think because that's how the system is set up, and it supports all the different functions, including the reporting and including everything else that comes with it. So that's why it's important to use the process. I have another question for Glenn, and the question is there an option to hide some statuses if we don't use them?
Yes, definitely. Optional status can be hidden if you do not use, for example, assemblies. The assembly status will not be showing. But general statuses, yeah, you couldn't hide. Say, for example, ready to rent, no possible to hide. It's one of the main status in the system, and ready to rent and deployed is very important status.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much. I think, oh, hold on a sec. Yeah, I think we've got all the questions right now. Let's just move forward, and then we will have another Q&A session at the end of the presentation today. So please start typing them as they come to your mind, and we will address them in a few minutes when we are coming to the close of the presentation.
Yeah, so the statuses itself is very complex term, and it required like good understanding all the processes, and we will talk right now about the rental job operations, and we will cover like most complex approaches with inspections and assemblies and all kind of different conditions. Potentially not all the users can have all those like complexity levels. So one of the example is the reservation process. When you reserve the unit, when you add the status of the like you reserve the unit for the particular job. So you move equipment, a particular unit number from ready to rent to reserved, and you reserve this in the yard, so nobody can use it for any other job, only for that job which you see in the reservation note. So if you will try to use this equipment for any other job in the delivery ticket, it simply will not available. It will be not showing there, so you can physically you can use it. And definitely the only way you can reverse reservation, so unreserved reservation note will move this equipment back to the rental fleet ready to rent. And when you ship the item using rental ticket delivery, it will go to status deployed or RAG, depending on different settings. And Indra will tell about that a little more in detail.
Yes, thank you, Michael. So let's move to the delivery procedure in your workflow. Delivery procedure triggers the status deployed or racked for rental unit. So when you generate a rental ticket delivery, there is two options how to proceed this. So you can select, you are selecting a document date when the rental unit will be delivered and another date when the rental unit will be deployed. So if the delivery date is earlier than the deployment date, the period between these dates will be set as racked for rental unit. And when the delivery date, when the deployment date comes up, the unit will be changed to the status deployed. Or in another scenario, you can set the same date for delivery and deployed, and the unit will be delivered and deployed right away. So the status will be changed from ready to rent to deployed.
Yeah, and actually the status rack means that you need some time to set up the unit in the field. And if you have the difference between movement date and rental period starting date, this actually will be the status racked. So, it means that you have equipment in a field, but rental period not running. So some clients call it idling. This can be a part of the rental break, or we can see a particular situation, similar situation when we do the release of the equipment. When we return equipment, we can have 2 or 3 days delay between job finish rental period and actually movement equipment back from field to the our yard. Another optional thing is a backup when you set up and reserve equipment for running jobs as a backup unit to do swaps. So, and some of the clients, they prefer to have like a certain amount of unit running and certain amount of unit backup, to be sure that those rental jobs will be continued, and if something will stop running, they can switch units in a faster, as fast as possible, in a faster manner. So, and same thing when we put something to the backup, we can only use in the rental ticket service. And definitely you can set up equipment to the backup and unreserve the backup if it's necessary. So, and we use a backup note as a document with two types, reserve and unreserve, to do that. Again, it's a very specific status. Not all the clients use it, but if you have that kind of reservation, give us a call and we will chat about this backup status.
So the next procedure is the return, and the return procedure triggers rental unit status changed to ready for rent, or if you have separate workflows, separate modules, procedures in your company. For example, like inspections. So after you are returning a rental unit from the client's location, from the job, if you run inspections for rental units, so right after the rental ticket return is generated and posted, system moves units to status for inspection, and the inspection card is generated in the system, and rental units becomes ready for rent for the next job only when the inspection is done and the inspection card is filled, and even it requires a specific conditions in tickets, for example, in inspection card to be set that unit become available for the next job. So inspection cards, in inspection card you select the result, what the result is after the inspection. If it's the unit in a good condition or if needs repair, and that inspection is done, and only after that the rental unit is moved to ready for rent status and can be used in the next job. So every status is triggered only by some conditions for this rental unit or by some document generation and posting in the system. And another situation, when you are returning the rental unit after the job, there can be when the unit was lost by the client or the unit was damaged. So in this kind of situations, you have a way to sell the units to the client directly from rental ticket return. And when you set a condition lost or damaged, system allows you to select the next option to sell the unit and to generate a sales ticket. Then the unit gets status sold, and it's removed. This rental unit is removed from the inventory of RigER.
Another thing, when we do a disposal operation, so and it could be like a direct disposal when we have a ready to rent and we have the item disposal document selected those items, and after the posting of this item disposal document, we have the unit scrapped. Another transaction could be using the out of fleet status. When you move equipment out of fleet, and the main idea to take something out of fleet is to properly calculate the utilization level. Say, for example, you already decide that you will dispose of this unit, but for some reason you would like to do it in next quarter or next year, and so you take this unit from the active rental fleet and set a status to out of fleet, and after that you can dispose of this unit later. So it really depends how you'd like to structurize your fleet and how you'd like to manage your fleet. And the main rule when we talk about statuses is that as bigger your fleet, as more statuses you required. And that is why right now we have 14 different statuses. And my feeling that we will add 2 or 3 more statuses at the end of next year. So our clients see that it's very useful tool, and they ask us to add more statuses for a particular operations. And we willing to do that. However, all the time we very caution about how those statuses affect existing systems and how we can use them in the particular situation, particular business processes.
So the next procedure in company, what you are facing, usually it's a repair. When during the job, the rental unit gets damaged or broken and you need to repair, we have a separate status in the system. When unit is moved to need repair status, the status indicates that the unit is in repair and it's not available for the dispatch to the other jobs. So how to move unit to need repair status? When you are returning a unit from a job, and when you are generating a rental ticket return, there is a condition column where you can select in what condition unit is returned. So you can select that it's in good condition or in need repair, and then to move unit to need repair status, when the need repair card is generated and you put all the repair services provided done for that rental unit, and when the repair card is finished and the repair date is set on the repair card, the unit is moved to ready for rent status and is available for the next dispatch. Another procedure workflow when you have inspections, so you may not recognize that unit is damaged right after returning it. So during the inspection procedure, you can notice that this unit requires a repair, and you can set an inspection result as unit needs repair, which would trigger unit move to the status needs repair and repair card generation. And same in this situation, you have to finish the repair card, you have to finish the repair for the unit, and when everything is done, you set the repair result in repair card, and in this way the unit is moved to ready to rent status, and it's ready for the next job, next dispatch in the system.
Another thing, when you use the out of fleet status, when you decided to sell the unit and you decided to take it out from the fleet, and you have like months or two when you put this equipment to the market and waiting till it will be sold, and after that the status of the unit become sold. Or you can sell equipment right from the ready-to-rent status, and in this case, after that sales shipment document posting or sales ticket posting, the status of this equipment will be sold. And the popular question usually asked by users, can we delete those items because they already sold? Unfortunately not. It will stay in the system as a history of this unit, and the only way how you can make them unvisual to hide them. You can select or unselect sold status in the unit card, and it will hide all the sold units. But again, it's an optional thing. I mean, sold could be like not very common for the rental business. So when you sell the rental unit, so it could be like 2 or 3, 4, 5% of the items. That's probably everything for today, and the conclusion for this topic is that we have different statuses. Those statuses help dispatchers and equipment management, asset management people to manage all the equipment, understand how the user use it, how the company use it, how to manage it. And one of the latest requests, literally yesterday, was show not only status but days in status. So you can analyze how old this status for this equipment, which is, I think it's very interesting concept to see how often you use this or that unit, and how frequently you send those equipment to the locations, etc. So yeah, we'll see the system developing every week, and we every week adding new features, discussing new modules, new ideas. So if you have any requests, any ideas to make our in your life better, let us know, and we're ready to discuss that.
And as I mentioned, please do feel free to ask any other questions. And I think we have a few that have just come in. Again, the question is from Peter. Numbers in column headers are dates?
Yes, in the examples, yes, it's a particular dates. Definitely.
For a day in a month, for example, sequential number of days. Yes.
It's days, but tell you truth, it's again it's just done for simplification of the model. However, those days could be hours.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good point.
So it could be hours. So it's not necessary because we have a step of the status change is 1 second. So in the system, so within 1 hour, you understand how many status change could be registered.
Right.
In the
Right.
system.
It's just a sequential kind of steps in a form of a day or any other unit of measure
Absolutely.
that is more applicable. And the other question from Peter again is that what besides field assets management there is in the system briefly? And I guess it's like we're talking about the brief demo of RigER now. But I guess go ahead, Michael, if you want to take this on briefly, and we can always invite Peter for a quick demo and to show.
Absolutely. So definitely, again, this is a very narrow and very important point of the asset management tool. So what we have as the entire system, we have a sales module with the CRM system, the Oilfield CRM system, which give the opportunity to salesperson enter all the information about potential leads and new leads as well, and then this generate the quotes, and those approve the quotes by client, by management team, and then send a note to operation guys that we have a new job and this is what we need to do. The operations can reserve resources like equipment, people, see all the schedules, who is capable to do a particular job, like all the requirements from safety standpoint, from experience of the guy, skills, etc. So we track not only equipment but people statuses as well. So we know who is working, who is not working, who is days of vacations, injured, all those things. Then in terms of tracking services and rentals together, swaps, the service transactions, including service hours, internal hours as well, internal jobs, when the people working in the shop, we can track all those projects and hours as well. And after that, we can generate invoices based on the rental tickets, service tickets, invoice, consumables. We track consumables as well, by the way. And so, like, the entire operations of the oil field service and rental companies. So, and safety, purchases,
HR.
Yeah. This like a very brief.
Yeah, but as I mentioned, thanks for the question, Peter. We can schedule a quick demo just for you to see what's in the system, and I can also send you to the website as well as a few other resources just to take a look before the demo if you like. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very narrow, and you see that we spent almost an hour talking only about statuses of the rental units. Definitely, like the entire system overview could be very big. So yeah, we can schedule a meeting and provide you more detailed information about how RigER can help you to run your business.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. One maybe last question. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any more, but we can additional comments. Another question is that, can you change status's name in the system?
It's a very popular question. Unfortunately, we do that, but we need to have a very good reason to change the status of the status name, and the main reason, because lots of our users already use those statuses, and they already use this as a vocabulary and like internal operations vocabulary. So we usually not change the statuses.
And users cannot change it. Yeah, it usually at that admin level where we log in and actually change it on the background, but users themselves cannot change that.
Yeah, but again, when we talk about, say, for example, it really depends on the processes, and if the status will be better explain what is happening with this equipment, because we face it with the very complex processes, especially when we return those repairs or inspections. Right now, we have a client in Houston. They do F3 inspections when equipment release it. So it's like before transportation, after the transportation mechanical, and the third inspection after the repairs, if any repairs need. So it could be very complex process. But talking about naming, if you will require a particular name, say for clarification, say for example, we have started sold, but for some reason we can decide that we will sell this unit, and it's not only for like this unit, but it's a big chunk of our rental fleet will go in this category. So we can build a new status for sale. So, and in this case, it will be not for rent, but for sale. If we will have that kind of arguments, definitely we will help you, and we will add a new status to this to the system. But like from our experience, like past almost 7 years, we pretty established the name of the statuses.
Okay, good. Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone who's joined us today. I think we've come to the end of it. I don't have any questions right now, but as I've always say, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us over the website, over email, over the phone. That is all on RigER.us or on RigER.ca websites. We're more than glad to provide any additional information in a form of a demo, in the form of an online consultation on our site or an email. We're always happy to hear from you guys. So again, thank you very much, Michael and Indrey. So it's been a pleasure, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next in the next little while when the next webinar comes out. So again, stay in touch with us on LinkedIn. That's where the notices are going out, as well as through the emails as well. So you'll be getting them if you're on our list, which you most likely are if you already signed up for this webinar. So talk to you later then. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you
for watching.
Bye.